It's kind of a throwback to my high school days. I had a 1965 coupe when I was in high school, 1968, and I had a 68 GTO and a 69. Then I went to pickup trucks, and because they stopped building cars, and I wanted one ever since, and money and whatever wasn't available, the car wasn't available. Finally, I got in a position where I was looking at a 64 and had it appraised, and the guy backed out of the deal. He couldn't sell it, and of course that made me want one even more. And the guy that appraised it is kind of like in the system of a guy from Midland, Texas, and he has family in Halifax. So apparently on the way up to visit his relatives, he likes to drop off some cars to kind of help pay for his ride to be home with his family. So he called along, and this guy that did the appraisal on the 64 called me and said, I've got a 65 coupe or a 67 convertible for you. And I said, well, I had the 65 in high school, so as much as I want the convertible, I'll take the hardtop. The convertible was a 65 when it showed up. And I had it researched by Pontiac Historic Society. Came to be a true GTO. It's a 5N car. They only built 5N cars in Pontiac, as I understand it, and in Kansas City. This is a Kansas City car, 5N. Other factories built them, but they didn't put the designation of that to make sure that it was a GTO. Because in 64 and 65, they were an option on the Tempest Le Mans. And in 66, it became its own model. So I had to have it done right. So without the time, tools, or talent, I had the restoration done. It wasn't a matching numbers car, so it was an originally Mayfair Maze car. I changed it to, I had Montero red in high school, and that's what I got. I was gonna go with black interior, but my best friend said, you know, with a convertible, you might want to consider going to a lighter color. So we got the parchment, and it took, from January that year, it came out in about mid-May 2002. Every sunny day, I look for excuses to drive it. Yeah. People say, you don't trailer that? And I said, no, I got it to drive. So that's what I do.
So every time you get in it, it's back to the good old days.
That's right. I kind of like back in my high school years. When I was in high school, I was a Chevy guy until I met my first GTO. And I guess it was the styling. I didn't know anything about engines and performance or anything, but the first GTO that went by, I no longer was a Chevy man. I'm a GTO guy, yeah. The women, I don't care. They can have blonde, brunettes, or redheads. I like all of them, but cars, it's a GTO.